I will withdraw my protection if you silence my voice one more time. The person occupying your thoughts right now has already shown you their true heart. But you chose comfort over truth. In exactly 48 hours, a door will close or a veil will lift, and you will stand at a crossroads where pretending is no longer possible. If you have the courage to hear me until the final word, I will give you the discernment you begged for during those 3 a.m. prayers when exhaustion finally broke through your denial. But if you run from this message, you will walk directly into the pain I have been desperately trying to spare you from. This word expires at midnight. Do not scroll past what your spirit already recognizes as truth. My child, do you remember when I told you in Jeremiah that I know the plans I have for you? Plans to prosper you and not to harm you, plans to give you hope and a future. Those plans are still alive, but they cannot unfold while you are chained to someone who is actively dismantling the future I designed for your life. You stumbled upon this message because I have been shouting through your intuition for months, and you kept turning down the volume. You felt the disturbance in your peace. You noticed the patterns that did not align with their words. Yet you built elaborate explanations to protect them from your own clarity. There is someone wearing a mask in your life right now, and that mask fits so perfectly that even people you trust cannot detect the performance happening behind closed doors. This person studied you the way a hunter studies prey. They learned which words melted your boundaries and which behaviors kept you second-guessing your own eyes. Every promise was a transaction. Every moment of tenderness was an investment in your continued tolerance of their secret life. I am speaking directly about the person who appeared in your consciousness the instant you began reading, the one you want to exempt from this warning, even as your stomach tightens with recognition. Remember when Peter asked me how many times he should forgive someone who sins against me? 7 times. And I told him not 7 times, but 70 times 7. My child, I taught forgiveness as a path to freedom, not as a prison sentence where you forgive the same betrayal on repeat while the person continues sinning against you without remorse. Forgiveness does not mean you keep handing your heart to someone who treats it like garbage. There is a difference between forgiving someone and giving them unlimited access to wound you again. Type 111 if you are ready to see without the filter of fear. You have been losing sleep over someone who sleeps soundly without your name crossing their mind once. You invested your energy, your body, your resources, and your trust into someone who saw your devotion as weakness to exploit, rather than treasure to protect. While you were awake at night planning how to fix what they kept breaking, they were texting other options or perfecting lies that would buy them another month of your patience. I know this lands like a knife, but I love you too fiercely to let you keep drinking poison while calling it wine because the bottle has a beautiful label. The signs were never subtle. You caught contradictions in their stories that they renamed as your poor memory. You saw their phone habits change in ways that made your gut scream, and they called you insecure for noticing what was deliberately hidden. You felt them pull away emotionally while swearing nothing changed, and they made you feel crazy for detecting the shift. You watched them offer respect to strangers while withholding it from you, and you told yourself you would be the exception that inspired their transformation. When the Pharisees brought me a woman caught in adultery, they wanted to stone her according to the law. I told them that whoever is without sin should throw the first stone, and they all walked away convicted by their own conscience. I showed mercy to her, yes, but I also said something critical that people forget. I said, go and sin no more. Mercy was coupled with the expectation of change. I never told her to return to the same sin and expect me to keep rescuing her from consequences. My child, I extend mercy to you now by warning you before the consequences arrive. But that mercy includes my clear instruction to walk away from what is destroying you. Like this video right now, if these words are breaking through the fog you have been living in, someone else watching feels alone in their private hell, and your simple action tells them they are not the only one who stayed too long with the wrong person. You prayed for me to send you a partner who would cherish you, but when I did, you ignored them because you were hypnotized by someone whose attention came in addictive doses designed to keep you starving for more. You confused the chaos of inconsistency with the excitement of passion. You mistook manipulation for mysterious depth. The person I am exposing tonight mastered the art of making you doubt the evidence of your own experience. I sent your mother who tried to warn you with careful words. I sent your best friend who saw through the charm and begged you to slow down. I placed strangers in your path who shared testimonies of wasted decades with people identical to the one you are defending right this second. But you named everyone a hater. You said they could not understand the unique connection you shared. You isolated yourself to preserve a relationship that was methodically erasing your joy and replacing it with anxiety you tried to pray away while refusing to remove its source. Think about the Israelites in the wilderness. I delivered them from slavery in Egypt, but when the journey got difficult, they wanted to return to bondage because at least it was familiar. They preferred the predictability of oppression over the uncertainty of freedom. You are doing the same thing, my child. You know this relationship is captivity, yet you are terrified of the wilderness season that leads to your promised land. Comment Amen if you are ready to stop choosing familiar pain over unfamiliar peace. The loneliest season of your entire life happened while you were with someone who claimed you were their everything. You became a version of yourself you do not recognize in old photographs. You stopped sharing your dreams out loud because their indifference made you feel foolish for wanting more than they were willing to imagine with you. You made yourself smaller, quieter, less demanding, hoping your sacrifice would finally be enough to make them choose you fully. But they will never choose you the way you deserve because people like this do not want a partner. They want a captive audience that never stops applauding their performance. Type yes if this struck something deep that you have been afraid to admit. The reason you are seeing this specific message at this exact hour is because I am about to pull back the curtain on everything you have been too frightened to investigate. Within 2 days, someone will hand you information, or you will see something yourself that confirms what your spirit knew, but your mind kept rejecting. You will have proof of the betrayal that was happening while you were home weeping and praying for this person to treat you with the bare minimum of human decency. The truth will hurt worse than any pain you rehearsed in your head, but it will also unlock the prison door you have been staring at from the inside. Do you remember the story of Hosea? I told him to marry Gomer, a woman who was unfaithful, who kept running back to other lovers even after Hosea showed her covenant love. That story was a mirror of how my people kept betraying me. But listen carefully. I never told you to be Hosea. That was a unique assignment for a specific prophetic purpose. I am not asking you to stay in covenant with someone who tramples on covenant. Hosea's story reveals my heart toward unfaithful people. But your story is about learning not to cast your pearls before swine, which I also taught you in Matthew. Share this video with someone who is holding on to a Hosea assignment that I never actually gave them. My child, the person I am warning you about is not going to have a sudden awakening that makes all your suffering worth enduring. You have been building hope on their potential instead of accepting their established pattern. You fell in love with the person they performed as during the first few weeks when they were still baiting your heart. But that was never the real them. That was strategy. Stop waiting for them to resurrect a version that only existed long enough to trap you. Here is what you need to understand about the coming days. They are going to sense the shift in your energy, the way you pull back internally even if you have not spoken a word yet, and suddenly they will resurrect the person you originally met. The love bombing will return. The attention will flood back. The apologies will sound exactly like what you have been dying to hear. Do not be deceived. This is not genuine change. This is panic because they feel their control slipping. Real transformation takes months of consistent action and accountability, not 3 days of sweet words after you finally got exhausted from the disrespect. When I healed people, I often said your faith has made you well, but I also gave clear instructions. I told the paralyzed man to pick up his mat and walk. Healing came with obedience to new direction. If this person is not obeying the clear instructions that healthy love requires, then they are not healed, and you cannot heal them by staying. Type 777. If you are ready to cut every soul tie keeping you bound to someone who is blocking your destiny. This person maintains multiple romantic connections while making each person feel uniquely special. They have an entirely different personality around people when you are not present. They scroll through dating apps and old contacts whenever they are bored, or whenever you establish a boundary they dislike. They keep people on rotation because they never want to feel like they are settling. They do not post you clearly on social media because they prefer to appear available. When you bring up the future, they give vague responses that sound promising but commit to nothing concrete. Comment, I see it now, if you recognize this pattern and you are ready to be free. You keep praying for me to remove toxic people from your life. But what you truly need is for me to remove the fear that keeps you clinging to them. You are afraid that walking away means you will never find love again. You are terrified of starting over and admitting to everyone that it did not work after you defended this relationship so loudly. But my child, being alone is not what you have been taught to fear. Being with the wrong person is far lonelier than being by yourself, because at least when you are alone, you are not being disappointed daily by someone who promised they would never hurt you. I am preparing something so much better for your future, but you cannot receive it while your hands are full of someone who was only meant to teach you what you will never tolerate again. Remember the story of Ruth. She was loyal to Naomi, even in the darkest season. She kept showing up faithfully in the fields of Boaz, not chasing him, not manipulating circumstances, just being faithful where I placed her. And Boaz noticed her character. He did not make her beg for his attention. He did not play games with her heart. He saw her worth and moved with intention and integrity. That is the kind of love I have for you. But Ruth had to leave Moab first. She had to leave what was familiar and step into the unknown. You cannot meet your Boaz while you are still in Moab trying to convince someone to see your value. Like and share this if you are finally ready to leave your Moab and trust me with your future. There is someone else involved in this situation that you do not know the full truth about yet. This is not paranoia. This is prophecy. Within days you will find the messages, or someone will finally tell you what they saw, or the person will slip and reveal what they thought you would never discover. When that moment comes, do not let them gaslight you. Do not let the tears manipulate you into believing this was a one-time mistake. Mistakes happen once. Patterns are choices. The financial struggle you have been facing is also connected to this relationship draining your energy and resources. You spent money trying to keep them happy while your own needs went ignored. You missed opportunities because you were too distracted by their chaos to focus on your own growth. The moment you release this toxic connection, you will watch doors open that stayed closed as long as you remained tied to someone who was blocking your blessings. When I led the Israelites into the promised land, I told them to drive out the inhabitants completely. I warned them that if they allowed the enemy to remain, those people would become thorns in their sides. You are trying to possess your promised land, while allowing the enemy to remain in your most intimate spaces. This person is the thorn. Until you obey my instruction to remove what does not belong, you will keep wondering why my promises feel distant. Type I choose me if you are done settling for less than what I created you to deserve. The person who hurt you will not understand why you left. They will call you dramatic. They will tell their version where they are innocent, and you are the villain. Let them. People who were never going to understand you do not deserve your explanation. Your real community will see the light return to your eyes and understand everything without you needing to say a single word. Stop checking their social media. Stop analyzing their posts trying to decode if they miss you. Stop torturing yourself with questions that do not have answers capable of bringing you peace. The only question that matters is this. Do you want to spend another year feeling how you felt this past year, or do you want to finally experience the peace that comes from walking away? Think about what I told my disciples. If anyone will not welcome you or listen to your words, leave that home or town and shake the dust off your feet. I gave you permission to walk away from places and people who reject the value you carry. Shake the dust off and move toward people and places that recognize the treasure you are. Comment I am free if you are ready to release them tonight. The truth has already been shown to you. Every gut feeling was me trying to warn you. Every sleepless night was your spirit rejecting what your heart wanted to believe. I gave you every sign, and now I am giving you this final push because I see the full picture that you cannot see from where you are standing. 2 days from now you will have information that makes everything undeniable. What you do with that clarity will determine the next chapter of your life. Choose wisely, choose yourself, choose peace, and trust that I already have someone better preparing to enter your life the exact moment you create space by removing who does not belong. Remember when I told you in Isaiah that I am doing a new thing, and now it springs up. Do you not perceive it? I am making a way in the wilderness and streams in the wasteland. The new thing cannot spring up while you are gripping the old thing that I am trying to remove. Let go. The wilderness season you are afraid of is actually where I do my best work in your heart. When Hannah was barren and desperate for a child, she prayed with such intensity that Eli the priest thought she was drunk. But after she prayed and poured out her heart to me, she got up, ate something, and her face was no longer downcast. She did not have the baby yet. The circumstances had not changed yet, but something shifted inside her because she released it to me. That is what I am asking you to do tonight. Release this person to me. Release the outcome to me. Release your future to me. I am going to send people into your life who actually treat you well, and it is going to feel strange. You are so used to fighting for scraps that when someone offers you a full meal of respect and genuine care, you will not know how to receive it. You will think it is too good to be true, but not everyone is the person who hurt you. Some people are simply good people who see your value. When those people show up, do not run, do not sabotage it with your fear. Give me a chance to show you what I had in mind all along. Like this, if you are ready to stay open to the real love I have been trying to send your way. The person you are leaving will try to come back. Eventually, when they see you healing and moving forward, they will return with apologies that sound sincere. Do not go back. That return is not repentance. It is regret over losing control. Real change is proven over time with consistency, not days of performance designed to win you back. When Lot's wife looked back at Sodom while fleeing, she turned into a pillar of salt. I told them not to look back, and she did anyway. Looking back cost her everything. Do not look back. Do not romanticize what you are leaving. That relationship is being destroyed for a reason. Keep your eyes forward on where I am leading you. I also need to address the guilt you carry about the time you invested. You look at the months or years you gave this person, and you feel like it was all wasted. You feel foolish for not seeing the truth sooner. But my child, nothing you experienced was wasted. Every painful lesson taught you something you needed to learn about boundaries, self-respect, and recognizing red flags early. The woman you are becoming would not exist without walking through what you survived. When Joseph's brothers sold him into slavery, it looked like his life was ruined. Years in prison for a crime he did not commit seemed like wasted time. But I was positioning him for a palace. What the enemy meant for evil, I turned into good. Your painful relationship was not wasted time. It was preparation time. It was positioning time. And everything you learned in that wilderness is about to make sense when I bring you into your palace season. Share this with one person who tried to warn you, and you were not ready to listen. Let them know you finally see what they saw. Now let me tell you what the next season looks like. Within 3 months of walking away, your sleep will improve. The anxiety that lived in your chest will start to dissolve. You will catch yourself laughing genuinely at something, and you will realize you had forgotten what real joy felt like. Within 6 months, someone new will enter your life, and you will be shocked at how differently they treat you. The bare minimum that you used to celebrate will feel insulting compared to the consistent effort they bring naturally. Within 1 year, you will be completely unrecognizable to the person you are right now. Your confidence will return. Your dreams will resurface. The passions you buried to make room for their drama will come alive again. And when you run into your ex somewhere unexpected, you will feel nothing. Not anger, not longing, nothing. That is how you will know you are completely free. Type Amen and share this now if you are making that choice. Walking away does not mean you stop loving them. You can love someone from a distance. You can wish them well while refusing to let them close enough to hurt you again. I wept over Jerusalem because they rejected me, but I did not chase them. I did not compromise my message to make them more comfortable. I loved them, warned them, and then I let them make their choice. You can do the same when you walk away. Do it completely. Cut all contact, delete the number. Unfollow on social media, remove the pictures. Block if necessary. You cannot heal in the same environment that made you sick. You cannot detox while still taking small doses of the poison. Clean break. Complete separation. At least for the first 6 months until your heart has healed enough that seeing their name does not trigger you. I am also warning you about the tricks your own mind will play during the withdrawal phase. You will start remembering only the good times. Your brain will try to convince you that it was not that bad. This is how trauma bonds work. When you feel this happening, write down every painful memory right now while it is still fresh. Every lie, every betrayal, every time they made you cry, every red flag you ignored. Write it all down and keep that list somewhere you can access when your mind starts playing tricks on you. Like this. And save it so you can return to this message when you are weak and need to remember why you left. I am not trying to hurt you by taking this person away. I am trying to heal you by removing what was slowly killing you. I am not being cruel. I am being kind in the way that a surgeon is kind when they cut away disease to save your life. The cut hurts, but it saves you. That is what I am doing. I am cutting away what would have destroyed you if it remained, and I am doing it now before the damage becomes irreversible. You might be angry at me right now. You might feel like I am taking away the one person you wanted to build a life with. But one day, when you meet the person I actually chose for you, when you experience what real love feels like without games or confusion, you will understand why I removed this counterfeit from your path. Your story is not over, my child. This is not the end. This is the beginning of the life you have been praying for but could never access because your hands were full of the wrong person. Watch me turn your pain into purpose, your test into testimony, and your heartbreak into a platform that will help thousands of other people escape the same trap you are leaving behind tonight. The choice is yours. Midnight is coming. Will you keep choosing them? Or will you finally choose yourself, choose freedom, choose me, and choose the future I have been fighting to give you? Your breakthrough is waiting on the other side of your obedience. Type "I choose you" and share this one last time if you are ready to walk into everything I have been trying to give you. Your new life starts the moment you let go of the old one. Do it now.